Okay.
Mr. Lucas, I can't be in.
Good evening. I will now read the public notice. It is now April 22nd, 2021, a meeting of the Joint Committees of Community Development and the Health and Human Services Committee. Board of Alders notice. The Joint Committee of Health and Human Services and Community Development of New Haven Board of Alders will meet Thursday, April 22nd, 2021 at 7:02 p.m. via video conference. If you are looking for the URL, it is on the public notice. But if you would like to join by audio, please dial 312-626-6799 or 301-715-8592. To receive an overview on and hear about the city activities proposals related to Legislative Matter 2021-0170, Order of the Board of Alders, City of New Haven, approving the City of New Haven's 2021-22 Annual Action Plan Statement of Activities and Use of Community Development Block Grant CDBG, Home Investment Partnership, Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, and Emergency Solutions Grant funds to be submitted to the Department of Housing and Urban Development for federal financial assistance for planning and community development activities under the provisions of Title I and the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended. The Cranston-Gonzalez National Affordable Housing Act of 1990 as amended. The McKinney-Veneto Homeless Act of 2000 as amended. The Homeless Emergency Assistance and Rapid Transition to Housing Act of 2009, and the AIDS Housing Opportunity Act, hereafter referred to as the Housing and Community Development Programs Act, and for activities to be funded by program income and or reprogramming funds from prior year's grants. This item is on file and available for inspection at the office of the City Clerk, 200 Orange Street, room 202, per the Honorable Brian Wingate and the Honorable Darrell J. Brackeen Jr., co-chairs attest. The Honorable Michael B. Smart, City Town Clerk. For disability-related accommodations, please call 203-946-7651 voice or 203-946-8582 prior to the meeting. The public can view the meeting at our YouTube page by typing in Board of Alders. If you wish to present testimony at the meeting, you are asked to register in advance or by calling 203-946-7934 by 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. But if you are just joining us tonight, feel free to submit comment and public testimonies by emailing us at publictestimony@newhavenct.gov on the day of the meeting. We will now introduce members of the Joint Committee, starting with my Honorable Co-Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Darrell Brackeen, Alder Wingate, Ward 29, Beaver Hills, Chair of the Community Development.
Vice Chair Douglas.
Vice Chair of Community Development, Frank Douglas, Ward number 2, City of New Haven. Thank you.
Vice Chair Hurt.
Vice Chair Ron Hurt, Health and Human Services, Ward 3.
Third Officer.
Alder Walter Saldicola, Ward 18, Community Development.
Alder Sabin. Alder Kupo.
Alder Eli Sabin, Ward 1. Alder Ellen Kupo, Ward 8, Community Development and Health and Human Services.
Alder Winter,
Stephen Winter, Ward 21, Health and Human Services.
Alder Rodriguez,
Alder Carmen Rodriguez, Ward 6, Community Development.
Alder Edwards,
Alder Kim Edwards, Ward 19, Community Development.
and it is good to have the presence of a majority leader, Alder Furlow. I guess a brief instruction. All members of the committee, you have received a great amount of detail and direct responses from the Office of Management and Budget. So thank them for all the requests that you requested. They did follow through on that. I would like to bring them on in, the Office of Management and Budget, that they can be on standby as well. And what we'll do is have them state their name and addresses for the record now, so that in case they need to talk later, they're all checked in.
Hi, Ron Gizzi, 219 Aramo Terrace, Hamden, Connecticut.
And Allison Champlin, 932 Dunbar Hill Road, Hamden, Connecticut.
Wonderful. Honorable Co-Chair will be referring to the page number document that you all received. We will be receiving those folks in that order for hardware tonight.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. We're going to give everyone 3 to 5 minutes to speak in reference to their items. We're going to start off at page 60. And that will be Habitat for Humanity. I need for you to raise your hand who speak for Habitat for Humanity. 3 to 5 minutes. Everyone look good tonight? Honorables, and guests.
We can go on to the next one for now. No one has raised their hand at this time. We can move on to the next one.
So we're going to stay at page 60. We're going to go to Economic Development Corporation.
What's the project? Collab, right?
Hi, everyone. Just waiting for my partner, Margaret, to also hop on. She's on the call right now. I think she just raised her hand. Perfect. There she is.
Please, your name and address for the record, please.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline Tomby-Smith. I'm one of the co-directors of Collab, and my address is 558 Orange Street, New Haven, Connecticut.
And my name is Margaret Lee. I'm the other co-director of Collab, and my address is 940 State Street, New Haven, Connecticut. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of this process. We are very grateful to be among so many organizations doing such valuable work. Collab's mission is to provide entrepreneurs with impactful, rigorous business support using a compassionate, fundamentally heart-centered approach so they can build good businesses, build wealth, and shape their communities for themselves and their families. And we prioritize serving people of color and women, particularly Black and Latinx entrepreneurs who face barriers to entrepreneurship.
And Collab's work really focuses on the beginning of the pathway for entrepreneurs. So in addition to hosting regular events and office hours, our core program is the Collab Accelerator. This is an 11-week cohort-based program that supports early stage ventures. We also have a new shorter program called the Pre-Accelerator, open to all entrepreneurs to support them in building good business ideas. And as a part of all of our programming, we provide childcare and transportation and interpretation services to ensure all ventures can be successful while working with us. Over the past years, we've built a diverse, talented pipeline of over 1,000 entrepreneurs. Of the 85 ventures that have graduated from our accelerator, 91% are still in operation, still active. They've collectively raised $2 million in follow-on funding, that's investments, grants, and loans, generated $4 million in revenue, and created 178 jobs, that's full-time, part-time, and part-time consultants.
And last year, we were really proud and honored to receive $20,000 of support from CDBG. And with that support, during COVID-19, we were able to provide really critical support for our entrepreneurs. And in the past 10 months, this fiscal year, we've supported 51 new entrepreneurs with our deepest level of support through our accelerator, which gave each of them one-on-one weekly coaching for 11 weeks, a workshop curriculum, an assigned professional mentor, pro bono technical support, and more. A few examples of entrepreneurs we've been very proud to serve. One is Fantastic Foods. The entrepreneur's name is Trevor Johnson. Fantastic Foods provides a twist on American comfort food, offering unique culinary creations, people-centered customer service, and a consciousness of food insecurity for the Cedar Street lunch crowd in the Hill neighborhood and beyond. Another is Rose Garden by an entrepreneur named Ruth Onirimba. She is a Quinnipiac University graduate that developed a line of affordable skincare products that prioritize self-care and environmental sustainability. Those are a couple of examples. And we, of course, don't do this work alone. We're in deep partnership with institutions like the New Haven Free Public Library and organizations like City Seed, New Haven Healthy Start, and others to make this work possible. And we also love referring our entrepreneurs to other programs in the city like Elm Seed, Make Haven, and the City of New Haven Small Business Resource Center.
And finally, we would love the City of New Haven to be a continued partner in these ecosystem efforts. For next fiscal year, we're asking for your generous support from the CDBG again. With the amount proposed by the mayor, we can partially fund the direct programmatic costs of 3 Collab Accelerator cohorts, specifically to help us with those wraparound services like childcare, transportation, and interpretation, to ensure programs are accessible to every New Haven resident that qualifies, and to support our staff capacity to run the program and serve more entrepreneurs to directly impact New Haven residents who want to start businesses. Your additional support would help us ensure that our programming remains accessible, high quality, and deliver results for our city. And yeah, thank you so much for your time this evening. We really appreciate your all support.
Have another minute if you want to use it.
I think the only thing I'd say is just, keying in on some of the goals that you all said. Your support for this activity will contribute to meeting the city's goals of increased education and jobs, job training, employment opportunities, and just increased dollars spent locally, as well as neighborhood revitalization through investment in local entrepreneurs.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there anyone in the committee who would like to speak? Seeing no hands. Oh, we do. All Saban.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for being here. It's great to see you, and thank you for all the work you do in our city. I'm looking at the documents we were provided, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it says that you requested $60,000. Is that right? And the mayor is proposing to give you $20,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So I was wondering if you could talk about what you would do with that extra $40,000, how the mayor's current funding proposal would affect your programming. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question, Alder Saban. We realize that CDBG is a really competitive process that sort of distributes critical funds to many valuable organizations that are doing really important work. And so we're really appreciative of the current proposed budget for Collab. If we were to receive $20K, out of the $20K that we'll receive, all of the budgeted wraparound services would be covered using those costs. Accessibility is the #1 priority for us, and the rest of the funding would go towards that critical staff support that provides one-on-one coaching, educational opportunities, and we would be able to fill in, or we would attempt to fill in the rest with our fundraising efforts. That being said, if we were to be able to have the other $40K, we mentioned that new program, the Pre-Accelerator. The Accelerator is our core program, but we've been recently rolling out a new program, the Pre-Accelerator, to support individuals who may be curious about entrepreneurship, but have maybe a challenging time coming up with a good, viable business idea that's really, really hard to do. And so we created this program to support people who are interested in this pathway, but don't yet have that good idea. So we'd be able to use those supports and that additional resources to invest more in the pre-accelerator program.
Got it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You all set? Alder, are there any more questions? Well, thank you for your testimony. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, as you know, we have a hard job to do in the next couple of weeks, but hopefully we will meet every needs as much as possible. Thank you so much. We're going to go to page 51, and that is emerge. I also see our Alder Jerry Andrews has joined us. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, yes, I'm Alder Woodcock with Emerge Connecticut, and I live at 209 Willard Street in New Haven. So I just want to thank everybody on the Board of Alders and just the Mayor's office for the support that you provided Emerge over the last year. This current year was our first year receiving CDBG funds, and it couldn't have come at a more crucial time. I'm sure it doesn't need to be explained that, you know, COVID-19 has made it extremely difficult for folks coming home from incarceration, and their families, of course. So I couldn't be more grateful, and our team couldn't be more grateful of the timely support of the city of New Haven. And, what we were able to accomplish during this year is, I think, nothing short of incredible. I'm really proud of the work that's been done. We're on target to support the 35 folks that we intended to support coming home from incarceration to New Haven. Emerge is a little bit different than most nonprofit organizations in that we're a construction company. We're a home improvement contractor registered with the state of Connecticut, fully insured. And so we're in a unique position to be able to offer employment opportunities to folks coming home right away when they get through our doors. And in addition to that part-time employment, folks are really given, I don't like the word holistic, but more like a whole person sort of support system around their reentry into the community, because we operate on the firm belief that a job is not enough to fully support someone coming home, and it's not enough for someone to fall back into the criminal justice system. And our job is really to just destigmatize mental health and make it okay and cool to have help and support in your life, in your reentry. So we do that through a number of different things. Yes, we provide very, I think, incredible hands-on training in construction, carpentry, woodworking, landscaping, you name it. We have the best construction trainer, in the world, but I'm biased. And so we provide that training and that experience, and you're gonna work and earn, through some of our contracts up to $48 an hour on some of our job sites, but starting at 12. And you're gonna earn some money, and you're gonna learn some new skills, and you're gonna be prepared for the demand of the Carpenters Union and some of the other trade unions locally that really desperately need folks from Emerge that fit the demographic. But more importantly, you're going to get that academic tutoring to prepare you for training and education opportunities. You're going to get that, what we call real talk, which is essentially group therapy. You're going to get that mentoring from folks that have been through what you're going through and have kind of figured some things out. All of our peer mentors are formerly incarcerated and folks that are deeply committed to helping other folks navigate that difficult reentry process. And you're going to get the mental health support. You're going to get trauma-informed groups. You're going to get parenting classes and tools on how to re-engage and connect with your loved ones and your little ones when you come home, and you're really just gonna form a support system. So I've been very proud. It's been an honor of my lifetime to work with Emerge over the past more than 8 years. And Emerge has been doing phenomenal work in the city of New Haven for over 10 now. And I think we'd like to take this to scale in New Haven, and with the support of the alders and the mayor, I think it's a crucial time to be able to do that. So we are proposing $51,760 to support 2 key roles, which is the job coach at Emerge and our construction trainer, 50% of each of their salaries for the year, so that they can continue to provide those valuable services to folks coming home. And that would be for 35 adults returning home to the city of New Haven. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the great work. Are there any alders who like to speak to Emerge? Once again, we have a hard job to do the next couple of weeks, and hopefully everything pan out for the best of everyone. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are moving on to page. No, I'm going to stay on page 61, and we're going to Hope for New Haven Circle. Please,
Hello.
yes, please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 to 5 minutes to speak. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much. My name is Georgia Goldburn. I am the director of Hope Child Development Center, Hope for New Haven, I'm sorry. And we are serving as the fiscal sponsor for Circle. I live at 81 Warner Avenue in Middletown, Connecticut. And I have to apologize because as I was being brought on, I lost my audio, so I wasn't quite sure what your instruction was.
So our instruction is to pour your heart out for 3 to 5 minutes and hopefully feel some joy.
Oh, Alder Wingate, I hope we don't have to pour our heart out, but basically just pour our record out.
Listen, we're hard on the record because it's going to be a record what you say. So 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. So it was about I have my colleague with me, Tammy Robinson, who's there as well. She's been doing tremendous work. Circle is a network of about 80 providers, childcare providers. 24 of those providers are in New Haven. We serve about 700 children, or we support providers that service 700 children. 500 of those are in New Haven. We requested $30,000 to support our work in assisting these childcare providers to ensure that New Haven does not lose any capacity for childcare, but also grow access for families or build access for families to have access to high quality childcare center. Last year, this time, pre-pandemic, we did put out a warning to say that the state of Connecticut is on the verge of losing their childcare capacity. And sure enough, that did actually occur. New Haven, with the support of Circle, actually was able to support many of those providers to continue to operate. We lost only 2 childcare center in the city, and with the help, I think I'm not seeing Alder. There's Alder Salvatore. He helped to support us to put 1 back online in the Morris Cove area. So we ended up only losing 1 childcare center. There you are. Thank you so very much. We so appreciated the work that you did for us. And that was the key to what we do here, is to ensure not only that New Haven does not lose any childcare capacity, but that we continue to support those businesses to build capacity. We requested $30,000 to help to support our training of childcare providers around business practices, as well as assisting them in securing their associate degree. The state of Connecticut right now is receiving lots of funding that they are looking to invest in quality program. They are also looking to change some of the regulations that will help to increase childcare capacity, make it easier for childcare businesses to basically get started. We want to position New Haven with our help in making sure that a lot of those funding come to us. One of our big success last year was ensuring that while 75% of childcare business did not receive PPP funding, 100% of our providers receive PPP funding. Not only did they receive the first round of PPP funding, some of them received the second round of PPP funding as well. We have assisted these 24 childcare businesses in New Haven, or we have assisted our businesses in securing close to $500,000 in PPP funding. And so that we feel really very good, because in the childcare industry, only 25% of the total businesses receive PPP funding. Many of our providers that we support are family childcare businesses. And one of the barriers that was reported for many businesses was that they did not have the financial records and the financial documents to put together to secure those funding. Through our help and funding that we received, we were able to assist those providers to put together the financial documents that they needed to secure those funding. This money that we are requesting is money to continue that work, so that when the state of Connecticut and hopefully the city of New Haven and at the federal government make additional funds available, that the providers in the city of New Haven will have the knowledge and they will have the ability to actually successfully apply for those funding. So we are asking this body to basically support our initiative, and we are very grateful to the city, because the city has always been supportive of our initiative. But we are also asking for the full $30,000 to help us to really build the capacity that's needed for our providers to take advantage of the resources that we know that is coming our way. We want to make sure that New Haven is a huge beneficiary of the investments that the state and the federal government is about to make. And we don't want, because we have providers who can't put together a cash flow statement, can't put together a profit and loss statement, that they are barred from accessing those resources. We also know, and we have been in several meetings with Commissioner Bai, she is very invested, as well as the governor, in establishing family childcare provider businesses. And so we know that they're getting ready to invest lots of money, because they recognize that that is one of the ways for people to build wealth or to just improve their economic situation. And so the state of Connecticut is getting ready to pour lots of investment in helping individuals to establish childcare businesses. And we want to make sure, again, that those businesses, those individuals are properly positioned and poised for those opportunities. So I hope, Alder Wingate, that I have poured everything, our whole heart into this, and that we hope that people are absolutely moved to fully fund our initiative. So with that, I thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committees? Ms. Georgia? I see my co-chair, Alder Bracken.
Actually, we'll let Alder Winter go. I'll yield to Alder Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much for all the incredible work you've done to keep these businesses afloat during the pandemic. It's incredible how much PPP funding you were able to help folks get. I just had a question about, it sounds like there's like various administrative and back-end things that all of these businesses need to overcome in terms of like the day-to-day operations of running a business. And I was just curious to know if there's like a common suite of tools that you all provide or point folks to, like different platforms and tools that they can use, or if they're sort of given advice about what to do and then they kind of choose, what systems to use, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. And if we get our $30,000, that will be the things that we will cover. We will absolutely we've identified those tools for the providers, and the part of this funding is actually now training them on those tools.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Alder Brackeen.
Thank you. I just wanted to offer additional comment and actually thank Georgia and Hope Child Development and Circle for additionally impacting many other children statewide through their support of the child tax credit that just recently passed, championed by Rosa DeLauro. I can actually say this organization has been there every step of the way. So they're doing a whole lot more than what they're putting out tonight. Yes, they poured out their hearts, but you just really should be accommodated and recognized since you're here. I figured this would be a good time to recognize that work that you've done to impact the children of the nation.
I thank you, Alder Brackeen, and I will just brag a little bit and say that I was incredibly honored to testify before Congress to help usher in that $50 billion for the childcare industry. So, so yes, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about the work that we're doing, not just at New Haven, but in the state of Connecticut, but also nationally as well.
Thank you. So I did say, right, your heart is in this.
Yes.
So is there any more questions? Okay, I see all this South Dakota.
Thank you, Chair Wingate and Brackeen. Georgia, I can't thank you enough for what you did for Miss Small.
Yes.
She was at the bottom of the line there. She was taking advantage of, and with your help and guidance and my pushing her, we got her through this. So, Miss Georgia, I can't thank you enough for what you are doing for the children of New Haven and the children of our state. Thank you.
I so thank you for saying those kind words and being so gracious. But I have to say, you were so instrumental in helping us to get there. And so again, I would just like to just take this opportunity to publicly thank you once again for what you have done. We not only help Tennille to realize a lifelong dream of hers, but we help to ensure that 30 slots that were lost to the city was quickly restored back to the city. So we just thank you so very much for your support.
Thank you. Thank you again for all your hard work. So we're gonna move to page 62. I see no more questions for, thank you, Georgia, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have coming up now, New Reach. Page 62, New Reach. And we honor our next four presents is on page 62. So we hang on page 62 for a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for those who advocated for the page numbers and everything. It was a really good idea. Thank you so much, Allison. Thank you so much, Mr. Ron Gizzi. So New Reach, please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 to 5 minutes to speak.
Hi, my name is Terry Jo Sioka, and I work for New Reach at 269 Peck Street, New Haven. And Jocelyn Ann Toons is also here with me, who's the program manager. Thank you to the city for its long-term support.
She had to
Hello?
speak. She will have to state her name and address for the rest as well.
Okay.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jocelyn Antunes. My address is 1 Grove Street in Branford, Connecticut.
Thank you.
Thank you to the city for its long-term support of New Reach and to the alders for taking the time to learn more about our proposed initiative. For 30 years, New Reach has provided services in New Haven. Despite many changes, the agency sustains a fidelity to its mission to inspire independence for all those affected by homelessness and poverty through a continuum of housing and support. Our goal remains steadfast on ensuring that homelessness is rare through prevention, brief via crisis services, and one time through an array of housing like supportive housing, which this request has made. This goal parallels the city's aim to develop viable urban communities that include decent housing and a suitable living environment and economic opportunities for low-income persons. The targeted population of our request are homeless youth between the ages of 18 and 24, identified through the Greater New Haven Youth Can by name list and referred to Portia Place based on their vulnerability. This real-time list is created by the coordinated efforts of the area's housing providers and identifies youth as experiencing literal homelessness. This week, for example, there are 25 youth known to be unsheltered in Greater New Haven. The Corporation for Supportive Housing states that non-time limited supportive housing enhances a community's capacity to serve youth with complex challenges and needs. The city's funding will help New Reach provide such high quality support services to youth greatest at risk and residing at our time unlimited supportive housing site located at Portia Place, saving long-term societal costs. With a $20,000 grant, 2 youth would receive regularly scheduled case management from staff well-trained in evidence-based practices like person-centered and trauma-informed care, motivational interviewing techniques, and harm reduction approaches. Anyone who has any experience raising children knows how much support is needed to help a youth navigate from dependency to independence and the hurdles faced even with support. The youth for which this request is made do not have income, education, or support without this grant funding. For them, such navigation presents unsurmountable hurdles and places them in precarious situations that can lead to lifelong struggles, trauma, as well as high societal costs. The supportive services described will be scheduled based on client needs, but will typically occur Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. There's always on-site staff support 24/7, 365 days per year though. All youth now residing at Portia Place have engaged in regularly scheduled case management sessions, are working one-on-one staff to identify goals and action steps. Clients have been successfully linked with primary health care, employment, educational resources, mental health services, as well as a unique and newly developed youth mentorship program through Yale New Haven Health. Financial literacy classes are being coordinated as well. The proposed Portia project is designed to be non-time limited. However, staff works with each individual to determine what needs to be in place for them to successfully leave Portia Place with the ability to maintain housing independently upon their exit. We also submitted.
Yeah. You submitted 2, right?
Right, and the other proposal that we submitted is for, to provide, sorry?
What?
We requested 73,000 to address the structural and building renovation needs of Martha's Place, which is an emergency shelter for women located at 559 Howard Ave, New Haven.
Yeah.
Martha's.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to step back for a second because that is about the hardware. This is what you asking for tonight is about the 3,000. So we need to hear that portion of it. So we're going to extend your time so you can talk about it. Okay.
Okay, for the Martha's Place,
Yes.
for the structural, yeah. So
Yes.
that is,
That's how.
yeah. So that the roof needs to be repaired. It was originally constructed in the early 1900s, and so the current roofing system is a mix of 3-tab asphalt shingles and bituminous roll roofing, and so the whole thing is it's a risk now with moisture infiltration, and so it needs the integrity of the roof needs to be to be completed, and so that's improved the walkway and the driveway, and the completed roof replacement is the driveway is also a public safety issue as well. And so it's engineering and all that. Martha's Place is, serves, 18 women and single individual women, and then 3 women with children every day. Right now, obviously those census is down with the but so it's a public safety as well as a health and wellness issue. The structural.
Okay. Thank you for your testimony. I don't know if Ms. Antunes would like to speak on this, or if not, you all set?
Sorry, I had muted myself. I apologize. I don't need to necessarily speak. I'm just here in case there are any questions. I do oversee Port Place. So if anyone has questions about the sort of day-to-day being or what services are being provided, I can answer that.
I appreciate you so much. Question, are there any questions from the committee? Alder Carmen Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just want to be clear because you presented 2 different properties. So the first one is Portsea Place, that's on Portsea Street, and that is the one that handles the youth, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and the other one is around the corner from Portsea Place, and that's the one on Howard Avenue that houses 18
Right.
women. Okay, I just wanted that to be clear because everything was meshed together. So what is the request for Portsea Place, if we can know that?
We were requesting the 20,000 for the supportive services, for the case management services for the youth.
And for the Martha's Place to be?
And the Martha's Place is 73,000 for a replacement of the roof, as well as the fixing of the curbing and the driveway. Yes, that's it. The curbing and at the driveway.
Okay. May I, Mr. Chair, ask another question?
Yes, you may.
And so the person that runs Portsea Place, that would be you, Jocelyn, correct? Yes, I oversee the staff that are there. Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to have that clarification. And I will say that I have visited Portsea Place and it does handle the youth. I will say that when many of us in the community were invited to come in to tour the facility, a lot of the individuals had not moved in. And it is absolutely a place where if someone that is a teenager has not had a place to live, they actually have a place where it's their own individual bathroom and a kitchenette. And I have to say that, in seeing this place, one of the things that I did like, and I did make mention to Ms. Antunes that it was nice that they put a book in each resident's room so that they can note on how they were feeling for being in their own place as they moved in. So I have never visited Martha's Place, but I can say that Portsea's Place has been received in the neighborhood, and that they invite community in to come see what's happening there. They don't close their doors. They want us to come in and take a peek. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. I've seen,
Thank you, Alder Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work. I seen Mr. Ronke raise his hand, so I'm gonna.
I just want to let you know that New Reach Public Service is on page 73 of that document.
I appreciate you so much. What I have here before me, it's two different things. Though. That's that thing. From what I have, Ron, is page 62.
Yes,
You're
that's,
saying it's
that's,
70.
that's the roof, the hardware activity. The Portia is on page 73.
Okay, I appreciate you so much. So, thank you for testimony. As you know, we have handed you a hard job to do in the next couple of weeks, deliberating, trying to meet everyone's needs. Thank you for your testimony once again. And
Thank you.
now we have.
Thank
you. Welcome. Keep up the good work. Youth Continuum. We're still on page 62. Youth Continuum. Once again, Youth Continuum.
No one has
Okay.
their hand raised. Yep. We can go on.
Okay. We're still on page 62, going to Mary Wade Home. Once again, we're going to Mary Wade Home. I see a David Hunter.
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 to 5 minutes to speak on this item.
Thank you, Chair. My name is David Hunter. I live at 853 Allen Avenue, Cheshire, and I am the president and CEO of Mary Wade Home, located in Fairhaven neighborhood of New Haven, where we've been since 1866 as a nonprofit organization that is community run by a board of volunteer trustees. We're asking for funding for our transportation program in the community. This is a program that serves elderly citizens in New Haven who require transportation to and from a physician or dentist office. These are folks that without our transportation would not be able to get this transportation and see these physician visits, and in some cases end up in the emergency room as a result of not receiving proper care. This is donation-based transportation program. The funding comes through Title III, which is Older Americans Act at the federal level. We receive that through the Agency on Aging. And that is, those funds are for 70% of the trips that we run. So the CDBG funds that we're requesting would assist us in the remaining 30% of costs that we are not able to receive. The donations that we get, there are some things like, $2 or $1. We have a box in the vehicle, which is a requirement of the Title IIIB funds. And we tend to get $2 or $3, if that. Not everyone donates, but some people do.
Excuse me, Dave.
Yes, sir.
You need to talk about the hardware part.
Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
We are also asking for about, I think it's $67,000 for the replacement of windows in what we call the Boardman residence. This is a 45-unit residential care home. It serves people who require supportive services, but do not need a nursing home care. So it's like an assisted living. The building was built partially in the 1870s and partially in the 1880s. And we continue as an aged building. We continue to try to upgrade it so that it is providing a safe and comfortable environment for these folks that live there. 95 to 97% of the population are on state welfare. And so this is a program that is serving seniors who are extremely frail, require supportive services, and we think they need to be in a comfortable and warm environment, especially in the wintertime. And so the request is to assist us in renovating this, this historic building that is sitting in the Quinnipiac River Historic District.
Thank you, sir. Are any questions from the committees? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Thank you.
Thank you for what you do in the city and the time you put into this program. So know that you're appreciated by many of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We will be moving. We were going to page 62. We're going from Tower at Tower Lane.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 5 minutes to speak. You have 3 to 5 minutes to speak. And please speak to the hardware line.
I thought I had 3 to 5 minutes to pour my heart out. I thought that was the instructions, right?
That's all the instructions. You got it. You're on the track already.
Okay, this is our first time here, so I'm trying to figure this out, right? Okay, so my name is Gus Keach-Longo. I'm the president CEO of the Towers at Tower Lane. And I'm not sure if my other colleague Jen was able to make it. I just lost my connection, so hopefully she's listening in.
Jen is on. Yeah, she's on.
Oh, good. So here we go. There's Jen. Jen Baer is our director of development. So she's incredible. And I'm so thankful she's on our side. So our work address is 18 Tower Lane, and my personal address is 11 Highwood Road in Bloomfield.
Jennifer, unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bayer, Director of Development and Community Relations for the Towers at Tower Lane. My address is 47 Deer Run Road in Woodbridge.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my 3 to 5 minutes. So we are a low-income housing site for seniors, and we were called Tower 1, Tower East for most of our history. Tower 1 was built actually opened in 1971, and Tower East was opened in 1982. And then in 2017, we merged our two kind of sides of our building to make us one organization called the Towers at Tower Lane. We are a HUD-supported facility that is owned by the Jewish community in New Haven. And we actually are one of the first HUD 202s in the country. And we actually had one of the first dining programs, the first assisted living programs, and one of the first residential services coordinators on site. So over time, as our folks have changed, we have kind of kept up and tried to take care of them. We serve a population of people who are really low income, who are typically only making about $1,300. And we actually have about 70% of our folks need help with their activities of daily living. Some people are considered really frail, meaning that they need more than 3 assistants with activities of daily living. And we have people who are about a third of our folks are in their 90s, a third in their 80s, and about 24% in their 70s. And we have figured out that about 45% of our folks really have no contact with family. So they're either the last of their family or they're folks who are kind of estranged in some way or another. So we actually are working very hard to support our folks in the best way possible who have very little means. We're actually asking for help with two different projects that are somewhat connected. Part of it is the boiler replacement. Our boilers were designed in the 1960s on a model that was actually formed in the 1920s during the last pandemic. It was basically the heat system is either on or off, and we blare the heat as much as possible so that people can have their windows open and get fresh air. Actually, after the first pandemic, that was the kind of the model that was out there. And so we're living with a really old system that usually makes the heat either too hot or too cold. So we oftentimes have temperatures in our apartments that are reaching too high of a level and can cause dehydration for our folks. So oftentimes during the winter months that are moderately warm, you can drive by our building and see a whole bunch of our windows open because people need to be able to air out their apartments. And when other times the temperatures can be too cold and we're having to run around and put in space heaters, which make me very nervous because anytime you have a space heater in the space, people aren't used to it being there. It causes a really serious tripping hazard, as well as anything could be getting close to the heater could cause problems. So we're trying very hard to upgrade that system so that we can make it more comfortable for our seniors. So this new boiler basically will have the feature that it monitors the temperature outside and is able to start changing the circulating pump, and would also help us not have to open up our windows at a particular time of the year. So it reduces the temperatures, and it also has the ability to be kind of monitored through a computer software system. So that's one part of the piece. And then the other part that we're looking for some help with is to help improve our security on the exterior part of our building. We do house a very vulnerable population. We also know that being a part of the Jewish Federation and the clientele that we take care of, a lot of people who made it through the Holocaust, we are a target, and we have had the Homeland Security come out as well as the local FBI to try to give us some guidance on what we should do to secure our campus. So we've been following that guidance very clearly. And one of the things that makes it tough is that our residents cannot run, hide, and fight like we teach kids today and we practice in school. Our seniors just are not able to do that. So they really are sitting ducks when it comes to being able to defend themselves. So we are in the process of making sure that we can kind of solidify our building. Some of the things that we've done in the past, we're building upon. So one piece was to get cameras in our building so that we can start to see people and where they are in the building. And another piece is to wire this in so that it's internet based, so that the police department is able to look on our cameras remotely from the police department. So we were able to give them access to our cameras, but we didn't have enough money to be able to pay for the whole camera system. We were only able to do the interior cameras. So we're hoping if we're able to be successful here, that we'll be able to receive enough money to put the exterior cameras on. We did get some matching funds from FEMA and from the not-for-profit security grant. So we're hoping that with the CDBG funds, we'll be able to kind of fill our gap that we're trying to figure out. The budget basically is about $172,000 in between the FEMA and some of our operating dollars and trying to get some donations. We're hovering around $70,000 short. So the heat exchanger and the temperature controller ends up being somewhere around the $35,000 mark. And then also the hardware for installing the cameras is around $38,000. So we're hoping that we'll be able to finish this project. So that was my fastest spiel that I could do.
No, good work. Very, very, very good work. Very detailed. Thank you for staying on task. I appreciate that. I don't know if Jennifer would like to say anything before I ask for questions from the committees. Would you like to add anything before I open it up?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. We're really grateful. We have about 328 seniors in our care at any given time. And as Gus mentioned, we're the main home for the low income and minority population of the elderly community in New Haven. And we're grateful to everyone who has supported us through the pandemic. All the things and all of the services that we provide in our building are really through grants and through donation. Because as PUD 202, the rent just pays for the bricks and mortar of our building. And so all of the things that we're providing, all of the quality of life and care that we're providing comes from grants and donations. And so we're really grateful for your time, for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
We do have a PowerPoint. If it's helpful, we can send the PowerPoint on to you if you haven't already. That can give you some more details about what we're doing.
Yes, yes. If you can email it over to Lucas, that would be great. I will ask, are there any questions for the committees at this time? Are there any questions? Right. Thank you, Sian. Thank you for presenting. And as you know, we have a long 2 weeks to try to figure out what we can do. I'm trying to help as many people we can. So thank you so much.
Really appreciate your work. Thank you.
Yeah. Go Spartans. Go Spartans. Amity High. Go Spartans. We moving on to page 63. The connection. Page 63.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Hi. Sorry about that. This is all new to me, so thank you so much. I have asked my coworker to join me. I'm not sure if he's been having audio problems as well. So, but my name is Denise Calabrese. I live at 9 Baldwin Street, West Haven.
Okay.
So the connection, this is the first time that the connection has asked for money from New Haven. So, but the connection, we're a nonprofit human service and community development agency. We operate 42 programs across the state in the areas of community justice, family support services, and behavioral health.
Hey, Denise?
Yes.
What is your co-work name?
Patrick Fallon.
Fallon. We can get him in or get her in. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's having audio problems. So, oh, I think he's there now.
He's coming on.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. How you doing, sir?
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I was having a horrible time here. I had to run and get some technical assistance from one of my kids. Now I'm walking back to my area of the house. Apologies. Thank you very, very much for giving us the opportunity to present our proposal. A little bit of
Patrick, before you
can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Just take a minute. Slow down for a second. You gotta state your name and address for record, and we're gonna give you 5 minutes to speak. Don't do nothing. Don't bump a toe. Run it through the house. Don't do that. Just be easy and relax and get 5 minutes of your time.
No, this is really hilarious. I panicked. Like I had to go for help.
It's okay.
My name's Patrick Fallon. My employment address is 100 Ross Common Drive, Middletown, Connecticut. My home address is 38 Livingston Street, Weathersfield, Connecticut. I think I caught my breath now.
It's all yours.
So a little bit about 48 House Street, the building we're looking for funds to repair the cogen system. That building services over 1,000 clients a year. It services a wide array of people, the majority of which are coming home from incarceration and go through two of our large work release programs in that building. We also service people who with severe mental illness who are pretrial awaiting court proceedings, so that they're able to do that in a program setting rather than being incarcerated. In July, we'll also be starting a women's reentry program at 48 House Street that'll specialize in reuniting women with their children before they come home from incarceration. So that's a little bit about the programs that we run there. What we're looking for is approximately $30,000 to do repairs to what's called a cogen system that we installed in 2013. This system, what a few of the highlights of it is it lowers the carbon footprint that building has on the city of New Haven. It also generates 25% of our electricity and I believe 75% of our hot water. This provides us with a cost savings that we take that money, reinvest it in resources for the clients we serve. This money goes straight to the clients, and we use it for vocational training, interview clothing, transportation, visits with families if there's need for transportation, and just overall services that put our clients in the best position to succeed once they leave our care. So this is a cost savings that, at the end of the day, when they leave our care, hopefully they leave responsible tax-paying citizens. And this allows us to invest more money in that and less in utilities.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Douglas?
Thank you, Mr.
Frank Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this system, this cogen, what is it? Cogen system?
Yes.
Correct. This system is servicing the entire building, the YMCA, the children's center there, and your facility also?
No, yeah. I go ahead, Denise.
No, it's just the former YWCA that we own, and that's where our programs are.
All right, so that system does not affect the rest of the building there?
No, it doesn't. It's the 48 House Street side.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's the only question I have. Thank you.
Are there any more questions from the committees? Okay, seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. The next couple of weeks, we have to deliberate and do what we can do for the people, but most definitely keep up the wonderful work that you're doing, and thanks so much.
I want to thank everybody for their patience with my my entrance. This was an absolute nightmare for me, and I hope I gave everybody a laugh. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
So Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen is next on page 63. Downtown Evening Kitchen is next on page 63.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
It was a tough act to follow, so I hope I can Do this okay. My name is Steve Warland. I am the executive director of Downtown Evening Soup Kitchen. My address is 24 Alden Avenue in New Haven. I think most everybody here, I think, is familiar with TESC, but just to kind of give a little bit of background, our mission is to serve people experiencing homelessness and living in poverty by providing food assistance and services that promote health, community, and equity. We've been operating in downtown New Haven for almost 35 years now, just on Temple Street. And I think as many of you know, just this past December, we purchased the building at 266 State Street. This was sort of a long time coming. We've been planning on this before the pandemic, and we were very glad that we were able to follow through with these plans despite everything that's happened in the past 14 months. The goal of of moving to this building and the new program is to open up what we call the Downtown Drop-In and Resource Center. So we're beginning to imagine the work we do at DESC is not just providing food and basic needs, but also connecting people to a broader array of both basic needs and additional resources to get them to the next level. I think one of my colleagues from New Reach mentioned the shared goal we have of making homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring. Brief is where we come in. By providing this downtown drop-in center, we're hoping to provide a pathway for people to get connected to the vast array of homelessness services that really can move them beyond homelessness. That's the goal of the program. Food assistance has long been something that is greatly needed, and that brings people in the door. Once we have them in the door, we have this great opportunity to really connect them to something more, and that's what we're trying to do. So we purchased this building in December, and although it wasn't ready from day one to open the doors, we worked hard over the first couple of months to do some very quick renovations on the main floor so that we could open up as a drop-in center, which we did a few weeks ago, and we're very excited about that. Now we're open 6 days a week for drop-in hours, to critical resources as well. But the ultimate goal is to build what we want to call a resource center on the second floor, as well as a kitchen on the basement floor. And to do that, we have accessibility issues. The building did not come with an elevator, so we're in the process of doing the capital campaign and funds for the elevator to get people to the second floor resource center, where we will have case management services and offices for outreach workers, as well as offices for Cornell Scott Hill Health Center's street medicine team. That's the meat of the facilities request that we made through CDBG. The request itself that we proposed included several other pieces to it as well, but really this is the first time that DESC has really done a project like this, so I wanted to just make it clear how much a lift this is going to be for DESC and for a small organization like us, as we're trying to have a really great impact downtown. So we did include everything, but the focus really is the elevator. The accessibility issue, I think, is most important. And so we were thrilled to see that the mayor included in the proposed budget for this $50,000 to support that piece of it, and that will go a pretty good distance in getting us to fund that piece of it. The remainder of the funding will be coming from other public resources that we're looking into now, as well as the capital campaign, the private funding. Happy to take any questions. I know I spoke rather quickly.
No, you did very well. You got time left. But you've done what you were supposed to do. Thank you so much. You spoke the hardware tonight. I'll ask, is any of
I'm happy to speak about the public service. We do also have a pending application for public service as well.
Not tonight.
That's not okay.
No, not tonight. You're gonna have a chance to come back again. So I would ask, are there any questions from the committees? Sion, keep up the wonderful work. I know you, Steve. Keep up the wonderful work.
Thank you all for everything you're doing. I really appreciate your support.
Thank you. Next up is is page 64. That would be Ring One Boxing Inc. Ring One Boxing Inc. Page 64. Please state your name, address for the record. You have 5 minutes to speak. I believe one of your colleagues is trying to get in. And then they have to do is turn on their video and we can see them.
Brian trying to join.
Yes. Brian Clark. I believe we can hear him or can't hear him, but that's okay.
Okay, so should I get started?
Yes, please just state your name and address for the record. When Brian come on, we'll let him into.
Okay. Well, my name is Tracy Christian. I'm a friend and colleague of Brian Clark, and I'm here basically just assisting him with this process.
Have to state your address.
My address is 28 Hines Street in West Haven, Connecticut. The address of the business is 790 Congress Avenue.
Okay. Relax. It's okay. It's okay. Just relax.
I am very nervous. Public speaking is not at all my forte.
None of us like it. You just do it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so let me first tell you how I got involved quickly. Basically, Brian had a athlete that he worked with that was killed this past summer, and at the memorial service that he held at Ring One, the mayor was there, and I got an opportunity to talk to him a little bit, and just he asked me to assist Brian with this process because I guess you guys have tried to reach out to Brian to do something like this, and he was a little reluctant. So I was able to convince him of just the amazingness of his program, how much it needed to continue, how much value it brought to the city and the kids. And I promised him that I would facilitate in any way that I can. So here I am.
Okay, so this is your first time, so we're gonna walk you through it a little bit. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we are speaking about hardware. We're talking about structural things that need to be done. And if you can help us understand what structural things need to be done at Ring One,
yes,
it will be helpful for your cause and help us to understand why we should support this program that you're seeking money for.
Okay.
Brian is on now.
All right.
Can I talk?
Sure.
Yeah,
Hey, Brian.
It's working. It's working.
Hey.
Brian, it's like magic, right? We all can see each other, right?
Pushing up buttons.
But
go ahead, Tracy. You got the thing going.
Okay, so basically, I'll first give you a little history and background on Ring One and Brian. It was established in 1989, and it's actually the oldest amateur boxing program in Connecticut. It has a proven ability to engage city youth and produce champions, such as Tremaine the Mighty Midget Williams and Bad Chad Dawson, who's also the lightweight heavyweight champion for a while. So this is a recognized business. It's done great things, and we've produced champions that have brought recognition to the city itself. Brian is a retired Navy officer. He currently works at the New Haven Housing Authority, and he's been a coach and mentor for over 40 years. And actually in 2018, he was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame here in Connecticut. He's a well-known mentor and member of the Connecticut boxing community.
So Tracy,
yes,
I apologize, but I gotta stay on task. Right, I gotta stay on task here. I need to hear in regards to the facility, what it needs, was the nuts and bolts why you need to receive this money to do what with one.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, just through the years, regular wear and tear and unforeseen maintenance issues, the structure in the facility is very run down and dilapidated. It's hindered the organization's ability to serve its population, and it basically needs a complete gut renovation, new electrical, plumbing. It's basically 2,522 square foot of indoor space and 1,930 square feet of outdoor space. It needs new, pretty much everything. It's a historic building, and it's a historic business. So, everything from the roof, honestly, down to the tiles and the equipment. It's in bad shape.
Okay. That's what we talk about. That's why you're here tonight, right? That's why you're here tonight. So it's just trying to be mindful of and be fair of everyone's time that I gave 5 minutes to. I want to ask Brian, would he like to speak for a couple of minutes to this particular item, and then I'm going to ask questions from the committee if I can.
All right, sure. I've run this gym for 30 years, and my building is not in good shape at all. I have a very hard time talking, so it might be hard to understand.
Okay.
I heard tonight about that program. I know we've gotten prices from contractors already, so we have an idea of what's up. But that program, the guy that spoke earlier from that Emerge program, he's a licensed builder. I would be interested in working with him. Very interested, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Okay. So
Because he was impressive, and he was. He was telling the truth. He wasn't all words. So I'd be interested in that. But
so if this thing happens for you, then you can connect with Emerge to try to get stuff done. Right?
I'd like to, yeah.
Right. You can have Tracy reach out if we can figure out how to give this money out to everyone, then you could take those steps, get it done. Okay.
Yep.
But I would like to say we do have 3 bids that were already submitted from contractors, general contractors.
Okay. So so how this works, we deliberate, we go through the process, right? We have some funds that we gotta spread out through, everyone. The mayor supported in a lot of ways for this particular project. So we just got to come and vote on it and make sure things move right. I believe your alder is in support of this, but I'm gonna let him speak for himself if he has a question, anything like that. So at this present time, thank you for your testimony.
All right, thanks, guys.
I appreciate you. I want to ask, stay on for a second. I want to ask, does anyone from the committee have a question for these folks tonight? Nope.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
All around her.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And we know the history of Ring One in our community and the lives that it saves a lot of youth in our city, especially within the Hill, down through the years. But down through the years, it's had a lot of wear and tear on the building. I had a visit there recently with Brian and watched as the young people practice, exercise, and but the conditions was not up to par. And we thought it would be best that we try to push this in a direction where that the building be updated and upgraded. which will, and it's a beacon of light in our community. And we just want to make sure that our young people who utilize this building, which, you know, depended upon funds from parents who are low income but still couldn't pay it, but Brian, being the man that he is, made sure that the young people, the youth in our community, was still getting to use the equipment, the building for what it's purpose for. So I'm in strong support of this upgrade, and I am not the alder of the ward that is in, but I am the neighboring alder, which has several of my constituents' children who attend and utilize and members of Ring One. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Alder, I appreciate you, Alder. I'm gonna let you say all of that again in deliberations. Thank you so much. But thank you, Brian. Thank you, Tracy. Your testimony. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
So
Ron as well. Thank you very much. Ron, he's been very helpful. He's answered way too many questions. I've been figuring it out, and you know, he's been really helpful as well. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Page 65. You're going to Cornell Scott. Page 65. We're going to Cornell Scott. Please. Okay.
There we go.
Yes. Please state
Can you
your
hear
name.
me okay now?
I can hear you very well. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to speak. Please speak to our word tonight. Thank you.
My name is Sean Galligan. My address is 19 West Dayton Hill Road in Wallingford. And I am the Director of Facility Development for the Cornell Scott Hill Health Center. And so I'll keep this brief. Cornell Scott Hill Health Center, as you know, we provide primary care, behavioral health, dental services, as well as a wide variety of specialty services, substance abuse treatment, all sorts of those kind of services to New Haven and the surrounding communities. The project that we're asking for help with tonight is at our main location at 400 Columbus Avenue. We've identified that the front entrance of our building needs some work, both aesthetically and safety-wise. So we have some sidewalks and some driveway and some curbs that are in disrepair. We've repaired them several times over the last couple of years, but they really need to be pulled up and replaced correctly. And additionally, we've identified that there's a safety issue near the front entrance. If any of you have been by our facility, you know that there's a U-shaped drop-off right in the front there, where cars pull up and drop off patients who are not able to walk all the way from the parking lot. However, the problem is our doors open up right into that area as well. And so we've had many instances where patients are wandering out of our facilities and a car is pulling in, or someone's trying to get out. And really, it's only a matter of time until someone gets hurt or hit by a car. And we've had many close calls over the last year or so. And so what we'd like to do is install either some planters or some bollards or something to kind of push that driveway area further away from the main entrance of the building, clean up the entrance, maybe reconfigure the way that driveway is a little bit to make it safer for patients, and also still allow them to drop off right in the front with an overhang to stay out of the weather and to be safe. We just completed a huge renovation of the interior of our space. And so it's a beautiful space now. We're happy that it's what we want it to be. However, the outside of the building and the entrance of the building still needs some work. And so we're asking for some help to get that done. So that's what I have.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Sinan, thank you for your testimony tonight. Keep doing the great work over there at Cornell Scott. We are going to page, thank you. We are going to page 66, Willie Avenue. Willie Avenue project.
Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but can't see you, but it's okay. Please.
I'm trying to get my video working here. There, no. Hang on one more second, and then if not, I'll proceed.
Okay.
Here I am, upside
Well,
down.
you
Look at that.
You're upside down. Around. Got to turn you upside down.
I'm not quite sure how to spin that around.
It has to be a little button on your computer that switches that viewpoint.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Are you on a computer or a phone?
No, I'm on a computer. I'm on my desktop, and in 14 months I've never had this happen.
It's okay. It will happen tonight, right? Are you still there? Lost them? Okay. We're gonna try to bring him. We're gonna try to bring him again. Alice says she can't take it. Alice said, I gotta go. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna continue on page 66. Continuum of Care Halfway Home, 599 Howard Avenue, Howard Street. Halfway Home, 599 Howard.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Cox, and I work for Continuum of Care at 109 Legion Avenue, and my home address is 115 North Stowe in Trumbull, Connecticut. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I'm actually on vacation, so it's kind of mixed emotions that I'm here, but I'm very thankful for the opportunity. So the mission of Continuum of Care is to enable people who are challenged with significant and severe mental illness, intellectual disabilities, and or co-occurring substance use disorders, and to help them rebuild a meaningful life and thrive in the community. We serve around 2,000 people every year, and we run 55 locations throughout Connecticut, with approximately 30 of them here in New Haven. The people that we serve are indigent. They're some of the most vulnerable individuals in our community. They've been homeless, institutionalized, and or hospitalized. So we provide comprehensive housing, residential case management, wraparound services. We provide crisis services, housing support to help these individuals get the treatment and the help they need, and maintain their rights and dignities to become productive members in society. The individuals at 59 Howard Avenue are fairly low functioning, and they are diagnosed with severe mental illness. They come to live with us in this location for 1 to 2 years, where we help them learn life skills, and then just personal management, so that they can go on to living more independently in the community, perhaps. I'm sorry?
Ms. Cox, yes. Tonight is about hardware. Tonight is about the structural.
I just wanted, yes, I wanted to give you an idea of what the house is about.
No, I
I'm sorry.
I can really appreciate that, but just trying to be respectful of people's time. We want you to speak to item that's before you, so we can move. I'm familiar with what you do.
Okay.
Right. I'm familiar with what you do. I know where the house is at. I understand it. Right. And I can share that with others. I've seen it before. Y'all doing a wonderful job. But tonight we want to speak to the hardware of it, okay?
So the house at 599 Howard it was built in 1920, and it has 6 bathrooms, and this is what the request is about. We have made a request to help gut 4 of those bathrooms, one of which is a handicap bathroom. The bathrooms are approximately, at least 30 years old. There's areas of mold and water seepage, broken showers, some areas not completely handicap accessible, and there's inadequate ventilation. So we are in need of some funding to help us completely redo those bathrooms and make it a more suitable place and condition to live. I don't know if that, so the cost of those bathrooms, the 4 bathrooms is estimated between $48,000 and $60,000. We had made a request of $38,400, where we would have our own operational matching funds. And we understand that it's approximately $28,000 that is being considered tonight.
Yes. And because of vacation, you did a wonderful job. That's it. That's all. I think that was painless. I want to ask, are there any questions for the committee for Ms. Cox before she go have a cocktail while she's on vacation?
Well, I thank you so much. We're very appreciative of all the city does and the support that we receive. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't see any questions from the committee. Really enjoy your vacation. Oh, we do have one. Alder Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and not to keep you too long from your vacation. If you received the lower amount that the mayor budgeted, would you try to make up the rest through fundraising, or would you focus on doing fewer bathrooms? What would it mean?
We would prioritize, initially we would prioritize the bathrooms with the greatest need. That's how we would go about it. And then as we get funding, either through fundraising, which is a challenge these days, as you know, with COVID, we would continue on. But that would be the likely we prioritize according to the need, the bathroom condition. There may be a situation where we could do a little bit in one and then do 2 other bathrooms completely, so did that answer?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Cox. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
So we still on page 66. We want to home improvement 380, 384 Edgewood Avenue. Is that tame or no? Oh, okay. Okay, my apologies. Okay. Oh, so we're going back to our guy.
Yeah. I'm back on. I'm not going to turn the video on so you guys don't have to stand on your heads to see me.
So tonight, speaking about hardware, and you got to state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to speak.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me talk tonight. My name is Jay Corman. I live at 85 Ridgeview Place in Cheshire. I work for Marrakesh. Our office is at 6 Lunar Drive in Woodbridge. I am the development coordinator. And so I'm in awe of everybody who's spoken tonight and in awe of this committee. You have some hard decisions to make. There's a lot of good projects out there. Tonight, I'm going to talk about what we're doing. Marrakesh is turning 50 years old this month. We support 1,000 people in Connecticut. We have a program on the corner of 518 Whaley and 132 Brownell Street, right on that corner, called Whaley Avenue Housing 2. It's a Section 8 affordable housing, which has 6 units. It's under Marrakesh umbrella. Director is made up of our executive board. And those are the who oversee that program. So we have 6 units in there. We have 11 individuals living in that facility. Unfortunately, we have water infiltration through a roof that is well past its lifespan. So we're asking for $50,000, and that's based upon estimates that we've received from contractors, as well as other engineers, because what we're going to do is ensure that the curbing is done properly, the pitch is done properly, the drainage is reviewed again, so that we can ensure that water doesn't become a problem with mold, damage to the bathrooms, bedrooms, kitchens. We don't want to take 6 wonderful housing units, and we want to make sure that we maintain them in appropriate, affordable living conditions. So that's what we're asking for help with. What's unique about that property is we have other programs going in there. We have our Take Initiative Center, which is down on the ground floor. That's for folks who are pre-contemplative for drug and alcohol use. Oftentimes, the shelters close very early in the morning and people don't have a place to go. That place is running 7 days a week now. And we've extended the hours due to the CARES Act funding that we've received. We have our outreach engagement. I know it's not, I'm going into programming now, but
yeah. So just trying to be sensitive for people's time. Thank you. I appreciate you for your testimony. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you got that song I had upside down, you're turning me, but it's okay. Thank you for your testimony tonight. I want to ask, do the committee have any questions for you? Okay, seeing no questions, thank you once again, and hopefully next time we'll be able to see you, really, seriously.
I thank you. And if I had my IT committee of my high school kids here, I'd be looking at you in person. So thank you so much to this committee. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. So we going to page 67. I think this is the Glendale Group, Exis Town Home. Page 67. Okay, going once, going twice. I do not see them. So I'm going to move on to Rural Land Development Corps. Is Rural Land Development Corps here? Okay.
Hello and good evening.
Hello, how are you? State your name and address for the record. You have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you. My name is Daryl Brooks. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for BoA Land Development Corporation here in the city of New Haven at 774 Orchard Street in the Dixville neighborhood. I live and reside at 170 Stevenson Road here. Very quickly, I just wanted to come on and just talk about some of the programming that BeOA Land, in particular, Project 340 Dixwell. 340 Dixwell, it's going to be 70 units of housing. It'll be wide ranging. We're going to be looking to really put 20 folks who are at 20% of the AMI all the way up to 80% of the AMI, which is so critically needed in New Haven. There's a tremendous need for rental housing, affordable units, particularly for that range of between 25 to 80% of the AMI. Your support will allow us to be able to deliver that project, that building that's going to be built. It's a mass timber project. It is the first of its kind. Mass timber is used for commercial buildings and or luxury high-end apartments. We're going to be having supportive housing units and affordable housing in this luxury building. We like the Doug concept of luxury living at affordable pricing. And so the CDBG will be directly in support of the delivery of that project. It was awarded Chapel Points, and so we're looking to break ground this, I want to say November, somewhere in that time frame. Hopefully we'll be closing with the Chapel and be able to break ground. And so the CDBG funds will allow us to deliver that project. That's
okay.
it.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Pastor Brooks from the committees? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Oh, no, I know. Alder Steve Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. I know this project is on a larger scale than BeOA has done in the past, and that the mayor, did not fund any of the 100,000 requested. I wanted to know what that would mean for your operations and carrying out this project and the other work that BeOA Land does in the Dixwell neighborhood.
Thank you, Alder. It's so, BeOA Land is really, it's a small organization, and these funds will allow us to continue the work that we do. This is the largest scale project that we've ever done in Dixwell at one given time. But the support will allow us to continue to support the organization to become self-sufficient and self-sustained. These funds, and I know you guys are up against, it's like trying to shovel against the tide. I really get it, and I understand that. But these funds really help grassroots community organizations such as BeOA to be able to sustain it and strengthen it and position it to continue the work that we're doing. We're not a large organization. We don't get a other large funding programs, and so we're trying to sustain ourselves and get ourselves in a position that prayerfully one day I won't have to come back and say, hey, I need CDBG to continue the work that we're doing. The funds would allow us to sustain ourselves over these next several years to continue the work that we do.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I have a clarified question. You're saying that you're going to start groundbreaking when are you going to start working over there?
So we hope to close with Chapel.
Okay.
Around probably November, December, and not December, but we hope to be closed by Chapel before November, so we can actually start groundbreaking
of this year. This year, you will close this year. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. I see more questions for committee. Thank you for your testimony. We have page 67 again. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Neighborhood house services. Neighborhood housing services. believe I see is that Leslie? Is that Jim? Please state your name and address for the record. We can't hear you.
All right, here we go. It kicked me out and then brought me back in, so I apologize. My name is Leslie Radcliffe. I'm resident homeowner. My address is 20 King Place, New Haven. I'm also president of the Board of Directors for Neighborhood Housing Services. I thank this committee for giving us the opportunity. I do have Jim Paley, who is on, there he is. All right. He's going to have to do something with his volume, but he's going to allow me to start off first. So again, thank you. On or about February 1st, 2021, NHS of New Haven submitted an application for community development block grant funds for the new construction of 4 houses in the New Hallville neighborhood. And these houses will be located at 44 Lilac Street, 83-85 Butler Street, 98-102 Bassett Street, and 260 West Hazel Street. And they will all be constructed and sold to low and moderate income first-time home buyers by the end of this calendar year. The Board of Alders has already approved the land dispositions. Excuse me, that's Jim calling in so he can be on speakerphone. Okay. All right, the Board of Alders has already approved the land dispositions. We were informed by LCI that new construction was only allowable for community-based development organizations. So we submitted an application for CDBO status that was rejected because we serve 3 different neighborhoods in New Haven, New Hallville, Dwight, and The Hill. However, the current application is for properties that are located only in one neighborhood, and that's New Hallville. One could argue about the definition of neighborhood, but the fact is that we were denied CDBO status because of work in 3 neighborhoods when we're not actually working in 3 neighborhoods at the present time and on this project. So according to Exhibit B, which was submitted with our application, an organization also qualifies as a CDBO if they are a community housing development organization, CHODO. And we were granted that status by the State of Connecticut Department of Housing earlier this year. As a result of our failure to get CHODO status, we were deemed to be ineligible to receive CDBG funding and are not on the mayor's list of programs recommended for funding. The CDBG program provides annual grants to cities to develop urban communities by providing decent housing and suitable living environment and by expanding economic opportunities principally for low and moderate income persons. NHS's affordable homeownership development program whose projects accomplish just that. We are focusing on one single neighborhood, New Hallville, and are serving low-income first-time home buyers at or below 80% of the area median income. There's no reason in the world that we should not be deemed a community-based development organization. NHS does not build in staff salaries into our development pro formas, and we rely on CDB funding to cover our cost of developing the homes we produce. We have requested $100,000 in CDBG funds for 21-22, and we would greatly appreciate it if the Board of Alders would approve as much of this requested allocation as possible. Now, just to note the history, the first house that NHS got rehabbed in New Hallville was 308 Shelton Avenue, and it was completed in 1992. Over the last 29 years, NHS has completed 51 houses in New Hallville, representing over 100 housing units. So on behalf of NHS and on behalf of the first-time home buyers who will hopefully be able to purchase new homes on Lilac Street, Butler, Bassett, and West Hazel Street, and who will contribute to the continued revitalization of such a great neighborhood as New Hallville, we want to thank you for considering the redetermination of our qualification for the CDB funding for community-based development corporations and subsequently approve our request for funds. Mr. Jim Paley is going to have a few words.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much so much for considering the application. Most of you know me. Some of you have bought our houses, and we've worked in many of your wards over time. And we really appreciate all of the support you've given us over the years. It's been very meaningful for us. I've been doing this for 41 years, and still really have a passion for the work that we do. You all know how much the houses are going for, the appreciation, the investors who under-maintain properties in our neighborhood. That we're making these houses available for less than half of what it costs us to develop. But we're committed to this affordable home ownership development because we believe that home ownership is the key to stability and revitalization of the neighborhoods. I don't want to really go on to too much more time, but I would love to answer any questions that any of you would have for me or for Leslie.
I don't see any questions from the committee, but I know who you are. Okay, so Alder Kimberly Edwards have a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have, I think, 2 questions. How much were they looking to get in funding is one of them. And because I don't see them on my list, what are we really doing with this tonight?
Well, they asked 100,000. Shared the situation that brings them before us now. Reference to the mix-up of are they CDBG eligible or not, which they are CDBG eligible. So as we move forward in deliberations, have to talk about how to fund them, if we choose to fund them, all those things in the discussion we will have to figure out. But everything is legal for them to get money from the CDBG because they've been doing homes in the city of New Haven forever, right? They in New Harville now. They've been in New Harville. Total transparency. I purchased a home through them. So I know they work. They do good work. It's us for this committee to deliberate and talk about a move forward. That's what it's about.
Okay, because I just need a clarification because I did not see them on the list. They do great work. I'm in agreement with that. I guess my issue was process and procedure.
Absolutely. And
thank you, Mr. Chair.
You Alder Edwards, and we'll figure that out. Make sure things be corrected the next time. And Leslie, good presentation as always.
Okay.
Jim, have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Yes. So we're going back to page 64. And this is the last one of the night. And that would be Kid Inc. Our kids.
Our kids family center.
Okay, please state your name, address for the record, and you have the last 5 minutes of the night.
Well, I promise I will stick to 5 minutes. First, good evening, chairs, Wingate, Brackeen, vice chairs Douglas and Hurt, and
I don't know why you said Raheem name. Why you say all Raheem name like that? You didn't say my name like that.
But he's my Alder, bro.
Oh, I just just checking stuff out.
You know.
How are you?
Anyway, before I even begin, I really want to sincerely thank all of you and all of your colleagues for the efforts and the time and commitment that each of you has made during this past incredibly difficult and demanding year for our residents, for our families, and certainly for our children. So my very personal gratitude, as well as, my other half, some would say better, but other works for me right now, also says thank you very much. As many of you know, the redevelopment of the Dixwell Corridor began in 1998 with the Board of Alders approving the transfer of 2 vacant properties to 37 and 49 Dixwell Avenue to our kids. And by 2000, we had invested over $1 million and built the Our Kids Family Center. We are committed to providing permanency services for children who are currently residing in the foster care system, be it in foster care, kinship care, or out of home care, and reunifying them when possible with their birth families. Our reunification rate is off the charts. We historically have had an average between 88 and 94% reunification success, when the state is between state and national range between 52 and 62%. Currently, this application, which originally was for $50,000 and included therapeutic furnishings for our expansion, as well as our security system. Tonight, I am requesting that you consider funding us $25,000 for the entire security system in our building, which will be the welcoming center to the Dixwell corridor. We are the first non-Yale owned property on Dixwell. Our organization is steeped in family values, which is inherent to our Dixwell community. And we have invested and secured almost $4.9 million into this facility when it is all finished and sparkling and wonderful. We're expanding to include an infant toddler family trauma center so that we can do multi-generational work with families who have either been separated through the child welfare system or are at risk of being separated, and parents can work with their babies and toddlers on site rather than having to go to the other side of town for their mental health services, their counseling and case management when their babies are on the other side of town. Our security system was designed through the assistance of Chief Higgins from the Yale Security Police Department. He is on our board, and he provided us with his team to assist us in designing the security necessary for the facility. The total cost is $58,000, and we are requesting $25,000 from the New Haven Board of Alders. We were not recommended by the mayor, and so I am really appealing to each one of you to help us make sure that this gorgeous new building is safe and secure for our babies, our families, our staff, and all of our visitors who come to greet us and do the work that we're going to be available to the entire community to do. So that's my spiel. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the committee? I see my co-chair, Alder Valbraki.
Thank you, Honorable Co-Chair. Good evening. I just want to actually not offer a question, but offer a very strong statement. Over this last year, our kids and the Rodriguez family, I mean, they have supported thousands of kids citywide. Many kids have gone hungry. They sought to the need. Many families needed coats and clothing. They were there on the front lines. Yeah, I know we know that I'm the alder, but like, I just need to be clear that their record in the city compares to no organization that I know of between the work and the life of the Rodriguez family and what they've contributed to the city. This is the first time in the 7.5 years that I'm taking a stake now publicly to say we need to find a way to fully fund this organization in their request. This is the first time in 7.5 years that I've actually taken the privilege in this moment to state that when I say there is a need, here in terms of the security of the families who are disaffected. They mend broken families and bring them together. There's a strong need for this security in this place, in this space, on the Dixwell corridor. They've turned the place around, period. So if nothing else, I just want to go on the record and say that I understand that, you know, they understand that there's a larger process here, but I just want to state for the record, it is my hope that we can find a way to fully fund the original request of $50,000. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your testimony tonight. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Before we adjourn, I don't see no more hand up, right? Oh,
My hand is
okay,
up.
no, I see one more. Alder Kimberly Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to let you know, Alder
Yeah,
Douglas
no,
has his hand up as well. I just wanted a point of clarification, and Alder Rakeem may have clarified it with his statement, because Ms. Rodriguez said 25,000 they were requesting, but my sheet said 50,000.
Well, we did request 50,000,
Okay.
but given that we weren't approved,
Okay. You were
the biggest piece, I'm trying to negotiate. I know this process. I'm saying the most important is the security.
Security. Okay. That is all I wanted to just make sure I had the correct information. I understand that totally. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Alder. Alder Frank Douglas. Coach.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. I just want to echo my colleague, Alder Rakeem, and assure, I just want to assure our members of this ask, because, this entity has been extremely, very helpful and successful in servicing our children, our kids, and their parents. I've been friends with them for a long time now and keeping eyes since they are adjoined with my ward, and they've been doing some phenomenal work. So I'm just throwing my support out there again. But I do have a question, Randy, if you don't mind. I do have a question for you.
Sure.
And it's I probably shouldn't be asking this right now, but so this is security system. Have you reached out to a contractor yet? Are we going to be using somebody from the community?
We put it out to bid, and we have selected a New Haven firm.
Great. You answered my question. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. That is all I have right now.
Thank you. Pardon me for not seeing you earlier. It's that time of the night. Thank you, Randy. Thank you again.
And thank you very much. And Alder Edwards, please send my love to your mom, who almost killed my husband. She'll tell you the story.
My God. Okay. All right. So I want to say thank you again to Allison and Ron Gizzy for hanging out with us tonight. I greatly appreciate that. The news are a big hit. I got the text to prove it. That the numbers really help us as we move along in this Zoom world. So thank you again. But before I take a good journey, I just want us to know. Just want to share one thing before I can give it back to you, Frank. Douglas, I'm sorry. One thing I want to share with you. One thing of hardware. Hardware is hardware. Take money from somewhere else, you're going to have a reduction. Over the process I've been doing now about 7.5 years, either the co-chair, vice chair, whatever it is. Ronzi is a wizard. He's magic, man. At some time the magic runs out, right? Unless you watch Frozen 2. I'm sorry. But anyway, the deal is clearly be mindful seriously, be mindful of where you're pulling from. We're gonna have to deliberate through the process and come to type of agreement for everybody to be equal and equitable for what they want. I know everybody have passions about what they want to fund. Let's keep that in mind, and we are one unit here. So let's figure that out. And we'll talk to all the things and let him say what he got to say.
Just thank you, Mr. Chair. But through the chair, I had a reservation to visit our kids this Wednesday coming up. So just point of personal privilege. If anyone would like to join me, is at noon on Wednesday. Randy, I hope you don't mind me putting that out there, but just putting it out there. If anybody wants to join me, give me a call. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna hand it back over to my co-chair for tonight, and Alder Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had a hardware-related budgeting question for you or for staff. The reprogrammed funds on page 59, are those funds that were not expended in the last year that we're then adding to our budget for this year?
I will let Ron speak to that.
Yeah, most of those funds were not spent from the previous year, except for the LCI funding. LCI did reallocate some of that funding, and again, that was that typo on the acquisition portion. But most of that is unspent money from previous years, or a proportion of that is unspent. Yes.
Okay, so if we look at like the code enforcement line for LCI, they just didn't spend as much as they anticipated spending last year, and now that's being folded into this year's budget.
Well, the code enforcement, that was part of the reallocation that's going to acquisition. So the smaller amounts were unspent money, but those larger amounts were reallocations of LCI funding to other LCI projects.
I think that makes sense, but some of that is carried over because we didn't spend it last year on code enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Gizzi. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Alder Winter. As I said, y'all have a good night. I'm just turning it back over to Alder Rakim.
Thank you very much. Today was a productive night. Thank you for all the input. I just want to give further clarity that you all will receive the formal instructions on amendments soon. So please, let's go through the process. You will get your proper instructions the night of deliberations. So if you have any questions, again, pertaining to the process or any technical questions, let's try to do that offline because we are still in a public hearing and probably not necessarily the best place to be asking these questions. So the chair would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hearing it moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you, chairs.
Thank you.